idea what's going on. Okay, back to your son.
Okay.
And
so my son, we try every week to like expose him to a different kind of music, you know, and some he reacts to very strongly because he's an old soul, and others, you know, he's just like, nah, 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 nah. So Aretha Franklin is like now his favorite, and Rent is one of his favorites. So when you were doing that, I was like, Robbie, you have to see Auntie Antoinette.
Can I tell you, I'm like, I want to play every role. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to play this role and that role. And then, you know, quarantine, we have nothing to do. So
it was so much fun to watch. And then when you brought out the gold mic, girl, when you brought out the gold mic, I was like, come on.
Why did they give me a gold mic? I was like, who gave me a mic? I know my neighbors are like, if she don't stop singing show tunes at the top of her lungs, I'm a killer.
I love it. And then she put out a question on her stories where she said, should I stop or should I keep going? And I guess the people who said keep going won. I didn't get to vote, but I wanted her to keep going so badly, and she did. It was just the most fun that she was having by herself. And that's why we're doing these stories, because it's just really, I think, encouraging the people who are quarantining by themselves to see other people who are enjoying themselves, not without struggles, not without, you know, all of that, but also just trying to find joy in it all. So when I see that online, I'm like, I gotta talk to her. I want her to tell the people.
Well, there are highs and lows.
Of course there are. Yeah. What are some of the lows?
I mean, like, my mom doesn't live on the West Coast, so I can't see her. And there's a travel ban internationally, so I can't go visit her. And that's a big deal because I'm a mommy's girl. I talk to her like 50 times a day, and the fact that I would actually be with her right now. I mean, actually we'd be filming, but I would have gotten to see her right before filming. It just really sucks. So I miss her immensely. And also it just kind of feels like as artists, we're so used to having our work as an outlet. So we don't have our work, we don't have our community, and we're not allowed to be outside, and we're not allowed to embrace each other and have like affectionate moments like that. It just feels like it's like, come on, y'all gotta give me something. Like, this is
yeah. I mean, you make it look so easy, but I can imagine all of that. I feel like we've been so conditioned to be, you know, project oriented. I got this thing, I got to get ready for it. I got to do my voice lessons. I got to do my training. And now it's like, was I just doing it for the projects all that time? Or, you know, was I doing it for me and my own health? So it's taught me a lot. I've seen you working out. You know, she has like one of the most slamming bodies, but you guys already know that.
That's how y'all saw on the Haves and Hav Nots.
Have you fallen off at all? Do you feel like you've fallen off the wagon at all?
I have to say the first 2 weeks or so, I wanted to eat ice cream for breakfast. That was a routine. It was ice cream for breakfast and like a lot of candy. Like, I ordered my favorite candy and stuff like that. But then there's this little part of me that was like, okay, if quarantine only lasts a month and then a huge opportunity knocks at my door on, let's just say, June 1st, if I were not like ready and equipped to take hold of that opportunity and I lose my moment, then how would I feel if I just stayed and dwelled in like sadness, so to speak? So there's a part of me that was like, okay, I have to be kind to myself, but I also need to understand that I need to utilize this time for self-care as well as being productive. But then there are moments where you're like, I don't force myself to do things I don't want to do. So 5 days out of the week, I'm working out. That's happening regardless. It doesn't matter which 5, it has to be 5. I have to read half an hour a day, and I have to work on my craft in some way, shape, or form, but it has to be something that I want to do. So if I want to work on a monologue, or if I want to belt Rent at the top of my lungs, it's going to be something that I enjoy doing, and I'm not going to do it unless I enjoy it. So that's how I found middle ground.
Oh, wow. That's inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. Don't do anything you don't want to do. It's just, wow, it would be hard to be stuck in the house doing stuff you don't want to do.
Exactly.
That would be horrible.
Well, the first week of ice cream, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna wear sweatpants every day. Then you try in your jeans that one time, you're like, wait, okay. No, get on that bike. You have a bike in there.
That's what my niece who's a trainer told me, put on your jeans like at least every 2 days. Yeah.
Because that sweatpant life is so much wonder. It's so wonderful. You're like nice and roomy. I get extra larges and everything. You don't realize it until you put on the jeans and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Some salad, just eat some vegetables. So that's why when I started that challenge about like 4 things for my future self, it was just the mindset of let's try to take care of our health and our wellness. We know that this is a virus that attacks our immune system. So if we can do anything at all, whether we're taking CMOS or we're taking our vitamins, we're drinking a gallon of water. I know it seems like a lot, but staying hydrated is very important. And sweating at least half an hour a day. It feels like we're doing our part just in case in the event we get.
Yes. I love that because I know your Jamaican roots. You know your herbs, girl.
Yes.
I loved all of it.
Yes.
All of it. And so you're staying healthy, you're good.
I am. I mean, yesterday was a cookie day for me. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, it was a fun cookie day. I bought this almost half a pound cookie that has cookie dough in the middle of it. It's the best thing in the whole world. And then today I got right back on it. So,
oh wow. I'm
building stuff too. Like I gotta give myself stuff to do.
I know. I saw where you redid your balcony.
I did. It was crazy.
Uh-oh.
I like brought my drill out, everything.
You got your drill out?
Oh, ma'am. I have an entire toolkit. Drill bits, drivers, everything. Like every type of hammer, screwdriver, wrench. Like people call me and be like, hey, do you have these tools? I'm like, yeah, bet. And I send it to, like, I built my last entire my patio set before this. Like I went to the hardware store, I took the measurements and I built a bench.
Wow.
For fun.
Wow. So I saw where you redid your balcony, your patio.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did. It was so much fun. I actually have a friend who hit me up and was like, I'm going to do my balcony now too. And I was like, oh man, now we're all like creating these outdoor oases for ourselves. So it feels very daunting when you can't go outside and you're a nature baby. So it's like, okay, if I put down some kind of turf, I can see green. And if I see green and I have trees, it kind of makes me feel like I've been outside when I'm really not outside, if that makes sense. So it's healing for me. I meditate out there too.
I love it. You get your vitamin D.
I do. I need it. I miss your face.
I miss you too. Now tell me about your YouTube. Tell the people about your YouTube channel.
Oh my God, guys. I started a YouTube channel. People kept asking me like, okay, what do you do for mental health? What do you use on your face? What kind of makeup do you use? How do you style your hair? And I think they thought I was hoarding my secrets, but I wasn't. I was just really intimidated by the whole, hey, I'm not Coco. I'm not Melissa. I have to be Antoinette. And then what if you don't like me? I don't know. And then there's this little part of me that said, you know, we need to be brave and just put it out there. And since people have been super, super supportive, they found it helpful. Like, what do I do for breakouts? Because you assume that my face never breaks out. It does. It does. I find ways to mitigate the drama. So I posted a video about that. And then there are a couple girls who were like, I didn't believe you when you said you only use 3 products on your natural hair. So I did the entire 17-minute video and showed them how hydration, like I deep condition my hair every single time I wash my hair. I change it from like protein to moisturizing, like it's always different. And how simply keeping your hair hydrated and using leave-on conditioners will just bounce my curl pattern right back the way that it was because it's healthy. So I'm enjoying it and I'm going to do it until I don't enjoy it anymore.
Wow. You guys the link is in your bio, right?
It is.
Yeah, go to the link and subscribe. It's very informative. It's fun. She is so much fun. And it's inspiring and fun. Yeah, so she mentioned it. I just wanted to, just in case you didn't know, I know, you probably know, but she's on Dear White People on Netflix. She plays the role of Coco. She is amazing. And she also played my girl, Melissa, on the Haves and Hav Nots. So yeah, we lost her. Was it last season or a couple of seasons ago?
You know, it's so funny because he had so much in the tank for so long that I feel like it was 2 years ago, but you technically lost me a year ago.
Okay, so yeah, she jumped off the roof of the brownstone, and
she face planted, guys.
We lost her, and it was hard because I personally enjoyed every scene that I got to play with you. We just had such a ball, and we didn't discover until what was it, the middle of the time that we actually had the same acting teacher.
100%. We didn't realize until towards the end. I was like,
I know.
So 4 years, and I didn't know you worked with Bill Esberg.
Yeah. But it all made sense once we found it out. It made sense
because we worked together, and it was just Meisner. We were working off of each other. I was like, yes, this feels so good when we work together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
people
I just love.
Don't like each other. No, it's good acting.
No, we really do like each other a lot.
A lot.
What do you miss most about Haves, and how was that to be? To have to jump off the roof? Did you feel like, I'm sad, but listen, you had another job. So
you know what? That did soften the blow, but I miss you guys. The Haves was my first real TV family, and I was I got it. It made sense, of course. All great things come to an end, and I knew I had another show, but the kind of family environment that we had there, again, we've had so much time to build that. Dear White People, we still have a family, but it's different. It's different. The Haves is coming home, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so it was a little devastating. I was crying. TP was funny. He was like, your other family ain't gonna be like this family. I said, you're damn right it's not.
No.
It never will be.
No. We were crying too. I mean, the wonderful thing about our family is we're not together that long because TP works so fast. Mm-hmm. But we get together after work on the weekends. I remember one weekend we finished, we wrapped, we went to Crystal's house, who plays Hannah.
It was like summer camp.
And we stayed there the whole weekend. We were supposed to go home.
We're like, just get some more crab legs.
I know.
Let's go back to the pool.
Who's cooking breakfast? I mean, we stayed there. I think I had to go because I think I had the baby by then. Yeah. I don't remember. But I was like coming. I was like, as soon as the baby goes to sleep, I'm gonna come for a little while. It was just fun.
It was like karaoke, but not karaoke. We blast the music super loud. Now everybody's dancing with their own makeshift microphone. Al was there. Cass was there. We're jumping in and out of the pool. Some people are making drinks. Some people, it was just, I miss you guys.
Oh my goodness. I miss it too. I miss the music. I miss dancing with you. You and I used to be on the dance floor the whole, you and I used to be on that dance floor by ourselves, just having a good time. So,
it was like summer camp.
Yeah.
Like sleepaway camp.
Yeah.
Not going to bed till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
Breakfast at 11.
It was amazing. It is amazing. Shout out to Crystal and Al and Leland and TP and everybody who made that such a great experience, who makes it a great experience for us. But it wasn't the same when my girl left, and even though we had to fight a lot.
I know. You remember that one scene where you had to keep slapping me? Anything.
Clean my damn sink.
You think you can control me, don't you?
I said, do it.
Damn you.
No, damn you. Damn you. You had one thing to do, and that was to get Jeffrey to have sex with you, and you couldn't even do that. Damn.
He's gay!
No, you're the problem. You are the problem. You couldn't get him to have sex with you. If you had done that, we would be happy right now. He would be here right now. We wouldn't be dealing with this bullshit.
He's gay!
You are the problem, not him. You are the problem.
You don't understand. You can't change that.
Oh, you watch me.
Putting him in jail is not going to change that either.
You're the problem. You're the problem.
But my eyes were supposed to be closed, so I couldn't react in time. So I was like, "It's a fine, just hit me. It's all right." We just kept. He was like, "No, hit harder." And I was like,
When you were in bed, right? And bleeding.
it looked so good. I was like, "Yeah, no, for real." We were literally like, "She blew up."
He kept saying, just keep hitting her.
Just keep hitting her. It's fine. Hit her. Throw the head down. Just throw it. I was like, what?
But
Or like
eventually it did something to you, though. Eventually it did sort of affect you.
What do you mean? Like physically?
No, emotionally.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's this little part of me that felt like that wanted to finish out the whole Melissa storyline because I felt like she was misunderstood, and mental illness is very, very important. Like I didn't want that to be an end for her, and that kind of felt like, man. So Melissa and girls like Melissa who kind of get lost in the sauce for a little bit didn't have that redemption through that particular character for me.
Yeah.
So I was grateful that I got to bookend it, and that you got an ending, but it wasn't quite the ending, and there are legalities for that. Because I was already committed to something else. I was like, TP, you could have scooped me up before other people for 4 years. Somebody else scooped me up, and now Melissa got a bigger role. Look at that. But I just missed you guys, and I wanted Melissa and Veronica to have a toe-to-toe at least once, just one toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't happen. But I was so grateful for all the work that we did.
Me too.
Hospital bed, like all that stuff.
Oh, so much good stuff. You're such a great actress. You're such a great actress.
Great actress.
You trained with a very good teacher.
You did as well. That was just churning out superstars at the time.
Well, did churn out superstars. He really did. He's, I mean, we can name them. So now, I want to know, like, do you plan your days? Do you wake up and say, this is what I'm going to do today, and plan everything out and try to stick with it? Or do you just kind of wake up and do what feels good every day?
You know what? I'm super type A. So at one point in time, having that kind of structure worked for me. But I feel like because of the fact that this is quarantine, I have a lot more leeway with myself. So it's okay. By 2:00 in the day, I should have already worked out. I should have meal prepped if it's like a Monday. I should have meditated, and I should have read something by like 2:00. But I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning because I'm still on like East Coast time. Like I wake up super early, even though I'm on the West Coast. So I try to at least get myself to get those things done by like 2:00 ish.
Yeah.
But if I don't get them done, I'm not as hard on myself as I probably usually am, which I feel like that's what I've learned in quarantine, that like you have to be where you are.
Yeah.
You can't force yourself to feel creative. You can't force yourself to get things done just because you want to get them done. Sometimes, like this morning, emotionally, I was wrecked. Writing my post this morning, I was bawling and I'm sobbing, and I had to take a moment and be like, okay, we need to find a way to decompress. And so I had to take a moment, step away from my phone, and really take care of myself, because I'm an empath, so I feel everything. Yeah. And so to hear I couldn't sleep last night. I just kept hearing the echo of this man's voice saying, I can't breathe. And I'm like, well, how many more? Like, I was enraged. I was like, let me go get on that bike. And I ran like 10 miles. And after that, it kind of helps me. I think emotionally is an outlet. If I release my energy emotionally, then 9 times out of 10, it kind of gives me an even kilter.
Yeah, I agree. It was a very hard night.
Yeah.
And I really do think we need some mental health experts to sort of speak to us, because you know, a lot of us are kind of traumatized, you know, by watching that.
Mm-hmm. And we go from trauma to trauma.
Trauma to trauma to trauma to trauma. And you know, it's not an easy feat, and it can't be fixed with a hashtag. So yeah, so I'm with you on that. And I don't even know how you were able to sort of pull yourself up out of it, you know, without your mom, who is your rock. And so kudos to you, because you could still be under the table right now.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that we have to feel what we're feeling. That's it. If you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, then you can process those emotions and then you can move forward. I just feel like when it comes to us trying to dismantle a system that was not built neither to serve nor protect us, we need to keep the momentum and not go from trauma to trauma and just release it. But we need to find some way to implement action.
Amen.
And if we need to enlist our allies, because I mean, I posted a Benjamin Franklin quote. Essentially, it's saying, if the people who aren't affected aren't as outraged as those of us that are affected, then we'll never get justice, essentially, is what it is. Yeah. And I feel like that's where we are right now.
I agree. And it also sort of highlights who our allies are. Because the people that you thought they were, they make it very clear in times like this that they are not.
100%.
So yeah, all correct. And I'm hugging you from over here, and I'm hugging all my brothers and sisters who are equally traumatized. We don't have to win the victim role. We're all in this together, and we are equally traumatized. And allies, if you're watching, step up. Or move aside.
Or you know, but the thing that bothers me the most is when I see people go up in arms about animals and then stay quiet about human beings being murdered. I was like, I love animals, but you just not gonna say nothing at all? Like nothing. Okay.
Hashtag, maybe a hashtag. You might get that. You might get a hashtag. But I mean, or up in arms about going to the beach, or up in arms about free the country.
Oh yeah, or not wearing a mask. Or not wearing a mask. I don't want to wear a mask. What? Now, we're good. I can see you. I can hear you. We're clear.
Okay. Are we clear?
And you're saying you might get a hashtag. Yes.
Yeah, you
are clear. I love that purple lip too. Yes, purple lip.
Thank you, sister. That was for Quinny.
Was it?
Yes.
Some Quinny.
For Quinny. She used to always try to convince me to do a dark lip, and I don't like dark lips. So I said, I'm gonna do this for Quinny. Yeah, it really just kind of, like I said, it highlights who our allies are. If you really want to get help, you can't just step up and be an ally because you had an emotional experience. You really have to get help and learn how to overcome your privilege and overcome what you really thought of the world all this time. It does require a little bit of investment in reading and studying and therapy and all of that. And if you're not willing to do that kind of work, and cap kneeling still bothers you, then I can't help you. You know?
It's painful.
It really is. It really is. So we pray, right?
We do pray.
How has faith, helped you through being quarantined, going through all of this? How has your faith been there for you, or has it?
I feel like, so I have this scripture-based meditation book that I read, that I love, that feels like a source of strength for me personally, because I feel like they're just poignant topics on the right mornings. Yeah. And my family, we do this prayer line every Thursday. It's like a huge conference call with like 27 of us.
What?
Yeah, it's like an hour long, and my Nana's on it, and pretty much the prayer warriors get to it, which is amazing. We have a little interesting thing going on with the younger and older generation, but we're working through it.
What?
I keep it real. I can't help it. So we all just have like different ideas of what our faith means to us. And also, traditionally, growing up in Jamaica and the environment that I grew up in, children are seen and not heard. We are all adults now. And it's very difficult to walk that line of respect, but also articulating how you feel and your opinions, given the dynamic amongst us, needless to say. But the most important part is that we get on the phone and we pray for everyone that we know needs to be prayed for. My cousin is on this and laughing right now because she knows I'm telling the truth. He was like, she can't even help but spill it. But it's pretty great, and it's nice to know that, like, I have sisters that be like, I know, I haven't seen you online in a bit. I know you go into your little hole sometimes. Just let me know if you need anything. I know cancers like to go in their shell. When you're ready to talk, let's, And so it's nice to be able to have that balance of people knowing, like, hey, she might need space to process things, but also I'm here for you if you need me. So that's been very helpful.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And shout out to the prayer group, the family prayer group, the intergenerational family prayer group. Yeah. I can only imagine. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So now it's like Kirk Franklin and Shirley Caesar.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or Lecrae. Yeah.
So,
wait a minute, baby, now. No.
Come on now. We don't talk to Jesus like that.
I know. But you know what? They need that. You need them and they need you. It's so good that you guys are doing the hard work.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome. Do you miss New York?
I miss New York so much. And I sneak back all the time. I just don't tell anybody. I'll tell you why. The subway is an interesting experience now. Yeah. I forget. In my mind, I do not look like Coco nor Melissa when I put my glasses on. I put my glasses on. In my brain, I am Clark Kent and Superman. People do not recognize me. That is not true. I have to make sure to tell myself that. They'll be like, Coco! And I'm like, oh my God, I have her face. I can't hide from that.
Nope.
No matter where I go. So it's an interesting, I jump in and out for press for like 2 days. They like pile everything on, legit, like we get on a red eye and then we hit the ground running from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then the next day, probably again, 6 p.m. to like 6 a.m. to like 2 p.m. And then we get on a flight. Like we're not really there for very long. So my last trip just to hang out with family hasn't been in a while. It's really been mostly for press. I just kind of fly my mom here.
Yeah.
But I miss New York. I miss the food. I miss people keeping it 100. I miss seeing New York fitted caps and like Tim's. And I miss New York. The energy of New York, the vibe of New York, the food, people being rude for no reason, but keeping it all the way real.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. I don't really get that here.
Oh.
But I miss it.
Yeah, because you're in LA.
Broadway.
Can you imagine Broadway's closed?
I can't imagine. Dark all this time. That's insane. That's never happened.
I know. Can you imagine New York now closed pretty much? Can you imagine that?
I can't. One of my best friends was like, you'd really think that the second coming is here. Like she was like, you would be shook. And I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, it's New York and you barely see people on the streets. Like barely. And I'm like, well, that's good to keep the numbers down. She's like, but the energy and the vibe of New York, like, of course the architecture is its own thing, but to see New York the way that it is, to know that Broadway isn't there, the subways are closed down, like all of these things that the restaurants like make New York are just not accessible to you.
Yeah.
And then also the reason people pay for little tiny 600 square feet apartments is so that they can have access to a city. And you're paying like top dollar
to sit in a house.
Imagine being in like a little tiny, I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm in New York, but I'm happy I'm not there for this.
Yeah. I love New York, and I'm in Jersey, right across the bridge, and you know I spend all my days in the city. Yeah, I miss it.
How are you coping with the quarantine?
Say again.
How are you coping with the quarantine? I see you, Rob. I see you guys dancing and having your little parties. It's cute.
You know, it has been, I've learned so much and I've changed a lot, and I can't wait to see how the new me functions in the world. It's great to feel this new me inside, but I can't wait to try to figure out who she is. And when I say that, I used to be extraordinarily domestic. I used to love cooking. I used to love making my own curtains and being that girl. And then work came along. 8 shows a week came along, and life, you know. So I didn't do those things as much as I loved doing them. I stopped doing them, and my husband was okay with that because that was never a requirement for him.
Yeah.
So in quarantine, I have become that person again, but it wasn't out of, oh, now I got to cook, now I got to play games with the baby and make up, you know. It was all stuff. That's who I am. It just kind of got on the back burner because I was so busy.
Yeah.
And so I am hoping that I can find a way, not to necessarily cook every day, but hoping I can find a way though to keep up that love of home care and love of caring for the family, even when I have to work. And I don't want to try to be superwoman and do it all. And so I'm committed to turning down some things so that I could be sure that I keep that part of me alive. But yeah, that's it. I'm exhausted pretty much too, because I also care for my 93-year-old mom. Yeah. And so it's a full plate over here. But it's all very rewarding stuff. And in the end, I think I'll be able to look back on it and say, thank you, quarantine, that I got to be 100% with my 2-year-old and my 93-year-old. Yeah. And create great memories, you know?
It's beautiful to have that extra time, because when you're caught in the thick of it, you're constantly trying to do everything you need to be doing. And then you come home and you probably get to spend a couple minutes with Robin before he goes to sleep. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you get to have all day. So to be able to have him and your mom, and your husband, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been great. So yeah, we'll see. Like when it all is said and done, and they say, okay, which who knows when that will happen. But when it's all said and done, and they say, okay, you know, the world is good. Head on out, do what you want to do. Like, do you have anxiety around that, or how you feel about that, or what do you think about that?
Let me preface it by saying I am that person who has been wearing a mask on the plane since 2017. So let's start with that. Not
Yes.
just a normal mask, but an N99 mask, the one that you can't get anymore. Like, I'm that person.
Yes.
So since 2017, the end of 2017 till now, I've been wearing masks on planes. I've been wiping down all surfaces. I have always implemented a wipe off things before I put them in my fridge thing. I've never worn my outside clothes inside on my bed or on my couch. So I've always been pretty OCD. This is maddening for me. What I do appreciate is the world is now conforming to my way of thinking. Oh, it feels good. Knowing people call me crazy.
On that.
People calling me crazy. You're asking me where I got my mask now. Look at that. Oh, Lord, boy, how those tables have turned.
Yes.
That feels great. However, this invisible thing that's outside, well, because I'm a bubble baby, and when I get sick, I'm sick for weeks. So I try to avoid it completely.
Yeah.
And that could be the lack of access to germs. That could be it as well. But it's just the anxiety of course, you don't know who's actually being clean, who really is sick and doesn't care because they want other people to get sick too. And it's something that's invisible that can be on surfaces. I was like, that's messing with my anxiety, needless to say. So I just make sure that I have my mask on. I go outside. I'm always using my hand sanitizer, and I go straight to the shower the second I get in the house. But it's just now that people are like, oh, yay, we're going to beaches. Oh, yay, we're going to bars. Oh, yeah, I don't see myself going to any huge gatherings for a very long time. That is me. And that's just how I don't, especially since I didn't trust when they told us not to wear masks, because I've been wearing a mask since well before quarantine started. I was like, oh, y'all playing games. Cool. I got my mask on.
Yeah.
I said, come holler at me in a month. And then my friends were like, you don't have to. You're being so dramatic. Called me back and was like, hey, where'd you get that mask again? Because now they're mandatory. I said, I told you to stop listening to people and wear your mask.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna work on it. I just know no weapon formed against me shall prosper. That I know.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, I'm like, Lord, I can't see what's trying to come for me. So it's a lot. That's a lot for me personally. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so 100% with you. I was 100% just like you. I got on the plane wiping. So I love that people have caught up. Gavin and I were talking about that last week too, that everybody's caught up. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it safe, and yeah, no parties for me for a while. What do you have coming up, and how do you feel about going back to work?
Well, Dear White People was supposed to start filming mid-April. So we would have been back by now. And so now it's just a matter of, now I actually have like Zoom producer sessions. Like I'm up for other things as well, which is great. We don't know when those things are gonna shoot.
Yes.
If they can shoot around the new schedule that's going to exist with Dear White People. So, I'm just grateful to be able to have other opportunities, and I'm having fun writing more than I thought that I was ever going to, because now I actually feel like I want to. Instead of before, I would force myself in front of my computer and be like, write something. Yeah. Now I'm like, wow, I kind of feel inspired to do so. And I'm feeling inspired to create the videos and inspired to do a little bit of interior design. So I'm just kind of playing. I'm kind of going where the wind blows me, so to speak. Yeah. And I know whatever's meant for me won't pass me by. So I have complete faith in that. So I'm not really worried about what the future holds.
Yeah. Well, from day one, my friend, I knew you were a superstar. So I was not surprised that Dear White People scooped you up. Disappointed for sure that we lost you, but I was not surprised. And so much more is in store. I'm so excited for you and all that God has for you. So just don't forget, you know me. Don't forget.
I will never, because we're going to be up there side by side. Hello.
Remember when I think I texted you, I was like, I have an audition to play your mom on Dear White People. I didn't get it, and it was great. I saw it. It was wonderful. But I was so excited at that opportunity. But I believe that we'll work together again. So
I know we will.
Me too.
I know we will.
Me too.
If we have to produce a movie together, we'll be working together.
Oh, we'll do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I love
Not in the
you.
Hollywood way, but in the New York, like, we gonna do it. Let's do it.
No, yeah, let's do it.
100%.
I want her to say bye.
Oh, wait, here we go. Hi.
Hey, Mama.
Was it an hour already? It must have been, because it just cut me off. I was like,
I know, but we were getting ready. Listen, we were getting ready to end, but I wanted to tell, I wanted the people to get a chance to tell you goodbye. And yes, I see that somebody said, babe, we lost you. And then they said, she's back. But I wanted the people to get a chance to tell you bye-bye also.
okay.
You're so well loved, and the people, when I said I was interviewing you, were like, oh, Melissa! So I was very excited about that.
Aww.
So I just wanted to say thank you for coming on, and also call me, text me.
I'll still call you.
Yes, whatever, if you need to talk, whatever is happening over there. How is LA, by the way? Y'all all right? I hear you guys are kind of coming back or something.
People are fighting the idea that a pandemic is still happening. Like, they're kind of like just living life. Like, people threw barbecues this past week, and I'm like, don't invite me. Don't invite me. Don't do it. I'm not gonna go. What's wrong with you? So I don't know what's going on. There's some people I think are just getting stir crazy. It's been 76 days. So again, I get it. I want to see my family and my friends too, but I would never want to put people that I love in jeopardy, possibly being a carrier for something. So I'm gonna stay at home and FaceTime people. But it's weird. It seems like it's going back to normal a little bit, but it just feels like there's some people who are just still fighting the whole, I don't want to wear a mask. Like, what the hell is this? Da da da. And we're like, just wear the mask. Like, it's not that deep. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, I mean, the thing is, you guys, it's so comfortable to be inside in LA. Most places, apartments have pools, have gyms.
Yeah.
I mean, your buildings sort of have all of that, and you know, it's so much different from New York. I understand when I see New Yorkers say, you know, you need to get out because the apartments are so small.
Yeah.
But you know, LA, I'm like, you guys have space.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know, I think
it's 10 times harder in New York.
Yeah, I think it's
we could still go on trails if we wanted to. Like, if you wanted to go hiking, you could do that. Like,
yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do there.
Yeah.
So hopefully you will feel safe. I think that's the key to feeling safe, is if everybody would take on that attitude and wear their masks, we would all feel safe and we would all protect each other. Yeah. But like I said, I'm not the mask police. I just want people who, you know, don't want to wear their masks and go out and all that stuff to just be sure and go vote in November. And I don't, you know, because I think this is sort of controversial to say, but I think people are depending on y'all being sick and not being able to vote. So
and also, the more people that die, less people collect unemployment, less people who, come on now. You know where the money is. You got to pay attention to where the money's going, sis.
So
right.
Wear your mask.
Wear
so
your mask.
Around
eliminate
to
yourself.
Vote. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And if you don't, be just that bold in November. Just say, I'm going.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love you, sister.
I love you too.
I wish I could play our song. I'll never forget. I kept it on Snapchat forever because we snapped it. But you and I, one of our parties, danced the night away at Bruno Mars. Lucky for you. That's what I like. That's what we just had the best time. So I love you, and I will be in touch, and I'm here for you, and you know, we're all here for each other.
I love you too. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. I'll be back in a few, but say bye to my girl. They said they love you.
Love you guys too.
Bye, beautiful. Hey, go subscribe. Her YouTube channel. Bio is in her link. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, girl.
Bye.
See ya.